Section number 40 of 5-Minute Stories. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. 5-Minute Stories by Laura E. Richards. The Young Ladies. The young ladies had a reception this afternoon, and a charming occasion it was. The guests were invited for 4 o'clock, and when I came in at 5 the party was in full swing. Clare was the hostess, lovely Clare with her innocent blue eyes and gentle unchanging smile. The nursery was transformed into a bower of beauty, and Clare was standing by a chair holding out her hand with a gracious gesture of welcome. Alida received with her, and she looked charming too, only she was so much smaller that she had to be stood up on a box to bring her to a level with Clare's shoulder. Alida is a remarkable doll because she can open and shut her eyes without lying down or getting up, and Betty sat on the floor behind her and pulled the strings so that she waved her long eyelashes up and down in the most enchanting manner. All the dolls were in their best clothes except Jack the sailor, who cannot change his suit because it is against his principles, and I must say they made a pretty party. The tea things were set out on the little round table, all the best cups and saucers, and the pewter teapot that came from Holland, and the gold spoons, and there was real cocoa, and jam, and oyster crackers, and thin bread and butter. Rosalie Urania presided at the tea table and poured the cocoa with such grace that no one would have suspected her of being helped a little by Juliet (Juliet is not a doll), who was hidden behind the table. "Will you have a cup of cocoa?" asked Rosalie sweetly as Mr. Punchinello approached her with his most elegant bow. "With pleasure, lovely maiden," was the courtly reply. "From your hands what would not your devoted Punchinello take?" He bowed and smiled again. Indeed he was always smiling, while Rosalie, blushing, it was a way she had, lifted the pewter teapot and deftly filled one of the pretty cups. "He'll take a licking from my hands if he doesn't look out," growled Jack the sailor, who is jealous of Punchinello and loves Rosalie Urania. "Hush, you rude creature!" whispered Alida, giving Jack a little push. Clare is quite sure that Alida only meant the push as a gentle rebuke to Jack and a warning to keep quiet and not let his angry passions rise. But Clare always stands up for Alida. However it was, Jack tottered, staggered forward, and fell against Mr. Punchinello, knocking that smiling gentleman over on the table and upsetting the teapot all over Rosalie Urania's pink silk gown. Such a confusion as arose then! Rosalie fainted, of course. Jack picked himself up and looked black as thunder. Alida shut her eyes and kept them shut. She said it was from horror, but it may have been because Betty forgot to pull the opening string. But Clare and Mr. Punchinello did nothing but smiled, which was a proof of their exquisite breeding. End of The Young Ladies, recorded by Aletha.